A big name here, Rey Mysterio Jr. He could finally be making his way to the Impact Arena soon and for the first time ever. According to Mr. Meltzer on Wrestling Observer Radio, Impact officials are trying to get Mysterio signed for the next round of tapings in Orlando. As of tonight, this night, the 12th of January, there is no deal. But there are talks still happening between the two sides, or at least so says Impact as of today. It was reported back in the summer that Rey was entertaining offers from WWE and Impact, which was going by GFW at the time. The talks with WWE fell through, though, due to a number of dates desired. Rey did not want to work that many dates, and WWE did not want to hire a wrestler who wasn't going to work those dates. They didn't feel he was a Brock Lesnar draw. So the last top U.S. promotion that Rey Mysterio has worked for was Lucha Underground, which he could still do, even if he signs with Impact Wrestling. Mysterio told ESPN in December that he's not currently signed to any deal, saying, I quote, "I'm not locked up to any company. I'm an independent contractor, as we say. I could go to work wherever I want." That's the beautiful thing about being on this side of the fence. You don't have a commitment with only one company. You can go around and pretty much wrestle wherever you want. You can choose when you want your off days to be. That was one of my main priorities when I left WWE.
Man, he's got a great mentality. Hey, what if independent contractor was your relationship status?
It has been. It has been from time to time. I don't know that
they should have that setting on Facebook. Relationship status. Independent contractor.
Right there with Mormon. And then it has a drop box for all your wives. This could be a huge coup for Impact. I mean, obviously, if Hogan, Sting, and Angle didn't make them the next big thing, Mysterio isn't going to. But the fact that they've let go a lot of big name people that they were holding on to,
it's time to bring in some.
Mysterio's a big name.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is. He might not be a Brock Lesnar, but god damn it, he's close.
And merchandising, man, you can you could make money just having his merchandising without even him showing up in wrestling.
I'll be completely honest here, and this is probably gonna cause some drama and trouble with the listeners, but I personally feel that Rey Mysterio is one of the only masked lucha wrestlers I find entertaining to watch. I like Rey. Maybe it's because I grew up with him.
All I gotta say is Cero Mero.
Okay.
Look it up. You'd be impressed. Cero Mero.
No, I've always liked Rey Mysterio. I've liked his personality and his gimmick and everything about the guy. So.
Oh yeah. No, he's great. He's great.
Wherever he goes, he's going to be well off.
The original Rey Mysterio was super talented.
He should go to New Japan and run a program with Jericho. That'd be fun.
Oh yeah, them two had some great matches in ECW and WCW back in the day, in the early '90s and mid '90s.
It's hard for me to think that Mysterio is that old because he looks like such a little boy.
Yeah, but if you know what, if you watch him wrestle nowadays, though, he looks that old. I mean, he's smartly changed his wrestling style.
Is it a Kurt Angle type of change?
He doesn't look like beat up and worn, but he doesn't wrestle the same style he did when he was in ECW and WCW. And that's smart. That's super smart because he wants to be able to continue to work and walk and hold his kids and live.
Yeah.
I'm not knocking that in the least. In fact, I encourage more wrestlers. Work your ass off in your teens and 20s and completely change your style when you get in your 30s.
Don't Mysterio's kids belong to Eddie Guerrero now? Wasn't that a thing for a little while?
Eduardo. Yeah, that ladder match for the rights of Mysterio's kid was kind of weird.
I think that was Eddie's most heel role I think he ever had.
Oh, it was. It was awesome too. Yeah, it was pretty stupid. Is this a legal binding thing? Come on. Can I take the, I'll tell you what though, fucking Maury would be way more fucking entertaining if instead of doing them fucking lie detectors and blood tests, they just had ladder matches. I would fucking watch Maury. Fucking dude grabs the case off the fucking, grabs the papers off the ladder and shit. You are not the father! Drops an elbow, boom!
That would be great. That would be excellent.
Just hang the kid up there. Don't even hang papers, hang the kid up there. That's what I want to see. Hang the fucking, like Judy Bagwell on a pole. Just hang a kid in the middle of the fucking...
No, not by his neck, you sick bastards.
Oh, man. Man, we still got signings to go to. This might end up being longer than I expected, but that's all right, man. We got another signing. Brian Cage. Some of y'all might not recognize that name, but he is another Lucha Underground performer, and he actually has signed with Impact Wrestling. He worked 2 matches, both with enhancement talents, and won them both at just this last taping they had. Now, this isn't Cage's first time in an Impact ring. He had tryout matches with the company back in 2012 and 2013, and he also wrestled at the Destination X One Night Only event in 2014, which I actually have on DVD. But he wasn't signed to a deal then. Cage is actually a former Lucha Underground Gift of the Gods champion, and he had a stint in WWE Developmental back when before NXT when they had FCW. He worked in FCW for WWE for a little bit. This is a guy who's really big, really jacked, but kind of quick and agile. What do you know about Cage, Pasty, my man?
Nothing.
He's an all-right talent. He's not at my, when you look at the Lucha Underground roster, he is not at the top of my list, but he's been towards the main event the whole time he's been there. Just think of a big jacked dude, but is more talented than Jinder Mahal, but not near as talented as, say, like a Brock Lesnar or who's another big jack dude who's talented. EC3, nowhere near as talented as EC3 either, but still good for him. Good for him for going out there. He's another one. I don't know if he's going to be in Lucha Underground season 4 or not, but he, as far as my understanding is, he could. I mean, Impact has said they have open contracts, so we could see him in both Impact and Lucha Underground. And now, the one that makes me probably the second most giddy, Candice LeRae marked out for, but the greatest man who ever lived, A-double Austin Aries, returned to Impact Wrestling at Wednesday night's tapings and made short order of Eli Drake, winning their top belt, the Global Championship, from him. This makes him currently a 4-title champion. As of right now, he holds the World Series Wrestling Championship, the IPW UK World Championship, the Defiant Championship, as well as Impact's Global Championship. Pasty, we were just talking about Austin Aries not too long ago, man. What do you think?
I'm pretty stoked on it, man. Austin Aries deserves it, and WWE wouldn't let him have it. So go get it where you can. Austin Aries is definitely one of the best wrestlers out there in the professional wrestling world, and he deserves every little bit of it.
Yeah, and one of the best talkers, when he was an announcer in WWE, I mean, they could have kept him on as just a fucking announcer and made money off of him.
They should have. Granted, he would want to wrestle, but there you do a handshake deal where you announce for WWE and you can wrestle for whoever you want to.
when he was on I think it was Jericho's podcast, he said, I told WWE if they didn't want me to wrestle, I'd stay on as a manager. I'd stay on as an announcer. I just wanted to be in WWE and make money. But he's making money elsewhere. He's making good money. He's a former TNA champion when it was a world champion, when it was TNA World Championship. And he's actually a 4-time former X Division champion. For anybody who's followed TNA, I don't know what they do now, but it used to be the rule was if you held the X title, the X Division title, that was almost a Money in the Bank. You could cash in your title against the world champion and face them for the world title. The deal was if you didn't win the world title, you forfeited the X Division title. And Austin Aries is the one who made that rule, at least in storyline wise. Storyline wise, he's the one who said that's what this is going forward. He did it. He won the championship. I enjoy every time I see, hear, watch, look at, or think about Austin Aries. Good for you, A-Double. Good for you, you son of a bitch.
Yep, he definitely deserves it. You deserve it. You deserve it. It hurts to clap my hands. I'm beat the fuck up today, man. I couldn't even squeak my dog's squeaky toy. For those of you who don't know, I started a new job working at a liquor distilling plant, because Lord knows that's where I need to be.
Right? Yeah, I'm a crackhead and just started dealing crack. So that's all the signings, but good for all of them. We hope the best for every one of them. We hope to see them succeed. I'm happy for any positive thing that happens for anybody, and when it's involving wrestling, it just, has a place in my heart. Good for all of them. But speaking of Impact, executives Don Callis, some of you may know him as the Jacko from WWE, and Scott D'Amore revealed during a media conference call that new championships will be introduced in April when they hold their next round of television tapings. So they're making brand new championships, redesigning the whole gambit. It is believed that they will change the name of their main title back to a world title from the current global title, which was given during the short-lived GFW phase of the company.
Rest in peace, Global Force Wrestling.
Rest in piss. I'm positive about almost any venture in wrestling, but man, that GFW was just a fucking joke from the beginning to the end.
The worst part is it's probably not even done yet.
Is that nosebleed?
Yeah.
You need chicken noodle soup?
I want to find some meat.
Sure.
Some nosebleed chicken noodle soup?
My son has a nosebleed, and he wants a snack. And my son doesn't snack like some... He's like me. A snack isn't like, oh, I'm going to have a couple chips. Or isn't like, oh, I'm going to eat some toast. For us, a snack is like a small meal, like a lunch.
Yeah, no, that's me too. I hate to eat sweets and junk food. When I want a snack, I want like some crackers and cheese and meat. Like cheese and meat is like the main basis of a snack for me. Like, fuck yeah, make some extra chicken for dinner. That way when I get hungry later, I can go grab some fucking chicken.
That's how I am too. Snack. Yeah, I mean, we have cookies and shit, but nobody wants cookies when you got, meat. Right. I raised him well. He's a young beef stick in training.
Young beef stick. That's got to be his new nickname. That's going to be his rapper name.
Ironically, one of his nicknames is Cookie. I like young beef stick.
Young beef stick. He can be a mumble rapper.
Oh my gosh. He could. In related news yet.
I'll go straight for him.
This is huge. This, and I'm going to say mockingly, but I'm serious. This is huge.
Huge.
Something that's never happened before. Destiny Wrestling almost everybody listening to this and watching this has no idea what Destiny Wrestling is. But folks, Destiny Wrestling is making history at their upcoming Carnage event next Sunday in Mississauga, Ontario. Holy fuck, I practiced that name like 3 times and I actually nailed it. Yay!
That's funny because agua means water, and Mississauga is basically like saying Mississippi at that point.
It's a Native American word. Come on. Just like 95% of the towns in Minnesota.
Right.
And the name Minnesota.
Oh, yeah. No, 90% of the street names in Minneapolis, even. Hiawatha and Minnehaha. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And folks, for every fucking Washishu out there listening to this, Minnehaha does not fucking mean laughing waters. Shut the fuck up. You think the native word for laughing is ha-ha? The fuck? God, that's so degrading when I hear people say that. Minnehaha was the Native American term for laughing waters. Fuck you and your ha-ha. Fuck you and your ha-ha. God damn it. Sorry, that's my rant. I had to get that off my chest. Feel better. Oh, Destiny Wrestling, folks. You remember this? Did you hear this? All right. That's my channeling my David Letterman. Destiny Wrestling has booked new Impact Global Champion or World Champion Austin Aries against current WWE United Kingdom Champion Pete Dunne. The match marks the very first time a current WWE title holder will face off with a current Impact Wrestling title holder. Not only is this historically huge, this match, these two are two amazing fucking athletes. You got nothing on this, Pacey? I thought you'd have something on this.
I'm excited for it. How crazy would it be if Austin... Is it for the UK title at all? Or is it just a match?
I'm pretty sure that... I don't think either title's on the line. I could almost guarantee you the United Kingdom title's not on the line. WWE's not doing that.
Oh, it should be.
But I'm pretty sure it's champion versus champion, not title versus title. You know what I mean?
How awesome would that be, though, if Austin Aries took a WWE title when he's not even signed? You wouldn't give it to me while I was there.
That would be so awesome. That would be just epic. I tell you what. I think that would be pretty damn cool. Talk about bragging rights.
Right. WWE would have to basically send him back.
WWE wouldn't acknowledge it. They'd just make a new United Kingdom title. Wouldn't be the first time they didn't acknowledge a title change.
Like when?
Well, actually a lot of times, but
Illuminate
the one
folks.
that sticks in my mind, and Antonio Inoki won the WWF heavyweight title. Who did he win it from? Oh man, all the wrestling geeks are just yelling at the computer right now because it's super famous. I cannot remember.
Well, don't just yell at your computer screen. Yell at us in the live chat.
I want to say he did it against Ric Flair in the short time that Ric Flair was in WWE. For some reason, that sticks out. But Antonio Inoki won it, and then when whoever the title holder was, Ric Flair, whoever came back to the States, WWE just didn't acknowledge it. They're just like, nope, didn't happen. And, there's no internet back then. That was probably like 91, 92, 93. That's a short amount of time that Flair was in WWE. So, there's no internet. Who's going to fucking tell him otherwise? You're going to get the Japanese fucking Herald delivered to your house? But it's happened. It's happened a handful of times. You know that Pat Patterson won the Intercontinental title, the very first one, in a tournament down in Rio de Janeiro, right?
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, that was bullshit, too. They just made up the title and gave it to him. Do you know why they said it was in... Do you know why they said it was in Rio de Janeiro?
Why?
Besides the fact they needed somewhere out of the state so that they could completely lie about a tournament that never took place... the reason they picked Rio de Janeiro, and this is according to Bruce Pritchard, who was heavily involved in storylines and backstage and hiring and wrestling and all of that back at that time. According to Bruce Pritchard, the reason they said it was in Rio de Janeiro was because with Pat Patterson's French accent, he's French Canadian. With Pat Patterson's French accent, he could not say Rio de Janeiro, so they made it a place he couldn't fucking say just to fuck with him. And I believe it.
Yeah,
I fucking believe it.
That's pretty great.
Oh, what do we got now?
Days before the internet.
I know, right? I love listening to the old stories of back in the day before there were so many restrictions and laws and rules that the wrestlers had to follow. Seemed like such a fucking blast. I mean, if you ignore getting like 5 Sharpies shoved up your ass, but still. That can be fun depending on who you are.
Right. You just gotta keep an open mind and an open sphincter.
Yeah. Oh. Anyways, this is huge. This is huge. I know we went off on a tangent about that, but I mean, this is gonna be awesome. I hope to find this somewhere online. Not that I'm condoning pirating, but if you can find it on YouTube or Daily Motion or some other website.
Right, stream it. Don't download it. You can't get in trouble for that shit.
Yeah, this is going to be an awesome match. So on to some big news. This is actually
huge news.
This is actually what you all tuned in for.
Yeah.
The reason everybody's watching this, listening to this, is because John Cena is finally turning heel. John Cena is officially not like, oh, he's getting boozed. John Cena is officially a bad. We're not making this up. We're not making this up. Because you're going to be seeing a lot of John Cena, but not in WWE, folks. Not in Impact, not in Lucha Underground, New Japan. You're going to be seeing a lot of WWE's John Cena on Nickelodeon.
Same place you've seen a lot of John Cena for the last 5 years. Nickelodeon.
So he will host this year's Kid Choice Awards. This is actually his second time hosting. And he's also going to be voicing a brand new enemy. Yes, folks, a bad guy, an evildoer, perhaps a minion of Shredder. This is a brand new enemy on the new Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles TV show for Nickelodeon. The enemy is named Baron Draxum. Pacey and I have figured out this is actually just Byron Saxton. That's who he's modeled after, is Byron Saxton. But that'll be very interesting. I like all the Ninja Turtle shows. I watch them all. I loved Ninja Turtles when I was a kid, and I still watch them. But that's not all. He's also going to be an executive producer of a new show called Keep It Spotless. And Cena actually was talking to the Variety magazine about the new relationship with Nickelodeon, saying, Nickelodeon and I share the same looking glass. You got that, Alice? Fucking right. We like to make kids laugh. We like kids to have fun. Nickelodeon doesn't do programming that doesn't have comedy in it, that doesn't have smiles in it. I really enjoy putting smiles on faces. Cena talked about the appeal of his role on Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and he said, hey, if you were of my age, you know Ninja Turtles. You were a fan of Ninja Turtles. And being able to recreate Ninja Turtles and be involved in the franchise is really special. Cena also talked about the format of the new show Keep It Spotless, saying, it's like the chaos and the slime ability of Kids' Choice meets the crazy scene in the original Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, where everyone is wearing white suits and the kid gets transported through the TV. He says it's gonna be super special to kids. I'm excited for the Ninja Turtles spot, but it sounds like this new show, Keep It Spotless, basically what the show is, from what I researched, is it's gonna be it's pits kids against each other. It's kind of like a game show, and they're gonna have challenges, but the kids' job is actually to stay as clean as possible in these challenges. So that's kind of an interesting concept. In the past, Nickelodeon's done like Double Dare, Figure It Out, Wild and Crazy, Guts, Legends of the Hidden Temple, and all of those game shows.
Legends of the Hidden Temple.
Messy. Yeah, and you got messy, you got wet, you got glitter on you, you got slime on you, you got smoke, you got everything. So this one's kind of the opposite of that, and your goal is to stay as clean as possible.
You're gonna get messy.
That really piqued my interest. Oh yeah, oh fuck yeah, you are. Damn right you are.
No, I think it's pretty awesome to see John Cena walking in Sheamus's footsteps and becoming a part of the Ninja Turtles universe. Never thought I'd see the day.
I like Sheamus as Rocksteady. I like Sheamus as Rocksteady. I liked that movie.
He was better than What's-His-Face who played Bebop. Although they were both pretty good. I guess the guy who did Bebop's voice was pretty on point for the cartoons. I forget what his name is. I'm drawing a blank. The dad from... the wheelchair kid's dad from Malcolm in the Middle.
Well, I didn't know the guy.
Oh, no, he's super famous. Give me one moment. Keep talking.
Super famous? I wouldn't say he was super famous. The guy that did Bebop?
Yeah.
He did not super... He might be famous. I don't know if he's super famous. But I like that. I liked Krang. People didn't like Krang. I dug Krang in that movie. I was happy. You know what? I grew up with the old comics and the old cartoon. More the cartoon than the comics. I got into the comics when I was older, which is good.
Yeah, Gary Anthony Williams.
But So what's he done?
Hang on one second. He was in Malcolm in the Middle. The kid in the wheelchair. He was his dad.
Okay, yeah, the kid who couldn't breathe?
Yep. He was...
I didn't watch a lot of Malcolm in the Middle. I didn't. I apologize to people that love it. I'd watch it every now and then because it'd be on after Simpsons or something, but it never grabbed me like it has a lot of folks.
He was the voice of Uncle Ruckus on the Boondocks. He actually has a voiceover in StarCraft 2. Ruckus. Right. Let's see what.
So he did some things here and there. Nothing huge.
He's been around.
Super famous.
He's pretty well known.
But yeah,
not a household name, but pretty well known. You've probably seen something with him in it.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it a lot. And actually, Tyler Perry as Baxter Stockman, I love.
Yes,
and I don't like Tyler Perry.
Great. That was great. Sometimes Tyler Perry is good, unless he's making a movie himself.
I was just going to say, not when he's making movies, just when he's acting. So we got some more big news, something historical to talk about. Current owner of the National Wrestling Alliance and former Impact Wrestling president Billy Corgan, also frontman for Smashing Pumpkins, is reportedly in talks with TBS, Turner Broadcasting Station, to air NWA shows on TBS over 3 decades after it last aired an NWA show.
Hey, who better to host the...
Holy shit, I think most of us never even expected.
It's pretty cool.
TBS Turner Sports President... Yeah, no, it's awesome. TBS Turner Sports President David Levy has spoken about the NWA venture, and he said, "We'll look into late afternoons with the NWA broadcasting and any additional opportunities that become available." TBS itself noted, "We're talking to NWA as we speak, and if the right model comes into play, hopefully we'll be able to obtain it. It's possible. We feel like we're playing with the house's money. We have the schedule that we wanted, which is late afternoons. Is it possible that we could pick up a couple extra broadcasts? Yeah, that's possible. We are talking with NWA, but TBS are only interested in deals that provide good value. Late afternoons with the NWA broadcasting is what we are looking for, between 5 and 8:30 p.m. So not the greatest time slot for them, but it'd definitely be a good start.
Though. Right. And with the way the world works these days, I think TBS has their own streaming program. So, I mean, there'd be...
Yeah, and DVRs. Everybody's got a DVR, and I hope they get it. I hope they get it.
They should.
NWA on national television again.
Bring it back home.
For me, I know you're a WWE guy, and a lot of people listening grew up on WWE, WWF. I grew up on WWF, but as we stated from the very first episode, I was an old school 80s, 90s NWA, WCW guy. And for me to see the NWA on national television again I would mark out so much. I don't care if it's the dumbest match. I don't care if it's fucking David Arquette versus Vince Russo. I'm gonna mark out.
It's an exciting time. I hope it goes over well. And I mean, they could take that slot and still work their way into a better slot.
Oh, of course. They definitely could. And I mean, this is another example of why it's another amazing time to be a pro wrestling fan right now. Just, even if the wrestling isn't the best in WWE that it's ever been, if you're a fan of pro wrestling and not just a WWF fan or WWE fan, this is probably the best time ever to be accessible to so much.
Right.
It's great. And WWE is a huge part of that. The accessibility of all of the old stuff on the network, them helping out Evolve, them name dropping Ring of Honor and New Japan here and there. I mean, even them having their documentaries where they've talked about other places. I mean, I do think it's funny
WWE's that like, WWE will talk about Ring of Honor and New Japan, but anybody who came from TNA, it's referred to as the other company.
Right. Yeah, not Impact. Just like when Kurt Angle, when he wrestled for the first time, they're like, Kurt Angle hasn't wrestled for 14 years or whatever. It's like, come on, dudes, come on, just say it. Just say it.
What I think is great, though, is they say that he hasn't wrestled in that long, and then he finally gets back into the ring, and it seems like he hasn't wrestled in that long. Like, holy shit.
That was rough.
And I know you were going off about how Kurt Angle had some of his best matches in Impact, and now he's in WWE, and
good.
It's hard. It's hard watching Kurt Angle in WWE.
But I think if he can get back to a decently, not a full-time schedule, but a regular schedule, I think he's got a couple more, 4.5-star matches in him. I think you give him the right people and you let him get back into it. I think he's got 1 or 2 left in him. He doesn't have it he can't do it the whole year.
Right.
But I think he's got 1 or 2. I hope he does. I mean, this is the guy that wrestled through a broken neck to win a gold medal in the Olympics. I hope he's got 1 or 2 left in him. Moving on. TMZ.
Yeah!
Where real news happens. TMZ reports that David Otunga will not be charged in the domestic battery case against him.
Isn't this old news?
Do you remember last... Well, no, not that he won't be charged.
But
last
we knew
November,
she dropped the charges.
David Otunga was...
I'm pretty sure we knew she dropped the charges a month ago.
I think she just recently dropped the charges.
Oh.
She dropped the order of protection against him.
Okay.
She dropped the order of protection against him. Yeah. He was so for those of you who don't listen to us every week, we reported that David Otunga was accused of domestic battery by his wife, Jennifer Hudson. She claimed Otunga got angry at her, grabbed their son by the hand before pushing her out of the bedroom. I mean, to me, that's an everyday thing anyways, but, whatever. Hudson subsequently filed a report with police in Burr Ridge, Illinois. Since the request, a temporary restraining order against Otunga, which later sparked a custody battle between the pair over their son, David Jr., ensued. Otunga has already won the battle against the temporary restraining order and has been David Jr.'s primary caregiver since birth, due to Jennifer Hudson's extensive travel schedule. If anybody doesn't know, Jennifer Hudson is an extremely successful singer and actress, I suppose, huh?
Yeah.
But just recently, Hudson also dropped her order of protection against Otunga voluntarily. So as of now, he has no charges against him at all. So, you know how courts are. There's 7 different charges, Pasty, and they drop them all fucking at a different time in a different court case.
Right.
Just another way to get you to come to court again and milk for more money.
Yep.
You could do it all in one court hearing, but fuck that. Spread it out in 5. Here's some fun news, some fun stuff, folks. Spoilers ensue, so if you don't like spoilers, fuck you. What are you doing on our programming, you dumb bastards? Brad Shepard of the Bleacher Report has leaked some of the names for the WWE Hall of Fame class of 2018, folks. Wondering who is going to get in? We got 5 names for you. 5 names for you.
These are some good names, too.
For this year's... They are, actually. They're all, well, yeah, other than the celebrity wing, but you always roll your eye at the celebrity wing.
don't know. I'm pretty happy with it.
Yeah, fuck yeah, okay, yeah, I get it. I didn't think about that. So, the inductees for this year include...
As long as you don't have a Mr. T speech.
Right.
God.
My mama. God bless my mama. You see, my mama, she raised me, my mama. I'll tell you what, my mama... If only my mama was here, my mama. The headliner for 2018, at least according to this leak, the headliner is going to be none other than your favorite Jew and mine, Bill Goldberg.
Yes.
Bill Goldberg is headliner. Another name going in, it will be...
They kind of should have did it last year, I think.
Well, but he was still wrestling last year. Another one, some people call him the greatest big man in history. I don't call him that, but he is an awesome big man. Bam Bam Bigelow.
Yes.
The Beast from the East. The female induction that they got is Ivory. I could think of better, but I could think of worse.
Yeah, and I think she definitely deserves a spot in the Hall of Fame.
As much as anybody else, yeah. Tag team is the Dudley Boys. We just seen them have a run. They left. As Pasty and I talked about last week, Devon's still working with WWE. So good. They're always in the argument of the best tag teams of all time. They're not always everybody's top, but they're always in the argument.
With Bully Ray potentially being forced to retire soon, it's no more fitting time to induct them than right now.
And the celebrity wing is Kid Rock, Bob Whit-DeBaugh himself. For anybody wondering, not that this means anything, but Dave Meltzer has confirmed the names on this list. This was actually released about 3 weeks ago. We held off saying it because so far we had only heard from the Bleacher Report, and we held it off. As of this week, Meltzer confirmed these names. Pasty, you just want to give your opinion going down the line on these 5? Tell us a little something about each one.
Well,
I mean, we'll discuss the whole thing when it's released, but let's just throw something out here.
Goldberg is iconic, legendary, and deserves to be in the Hall of Fame, even though both of his runs in WWE were fairly short and underwhelming. he definitely still deserves to be recognized. Bam Bam Bigelow is a fucking classic legend. Of course he deserves a place in the WWE Hall of Fame. They gotta have at least one iconic past legend every year. I mean, they're all iconic past legends, but I mean from the old times. Ivory, like I said, she definitely deserves a place. Like you said, I could see other women maybe deserving induction sooner, but thinking back on my younger years with WWE, Ivory was always there. She was always prominent. From her solo runs to she was in Right to Censor, I believe.
RTC, yeah. She was RTC.
Yep, she helped to change the WWE as we know it, and therefore she is very iconic in that sense. The Dudley Boys, like I said, it's probably good timing. I'm a little underwhelmed because the last Dudley Boys run in WWE was not phenomenal by any means. But, they deserve it. Much like in the case of Ivory, I could see other tag teams maybe deserving it more. But the Dudley Boys definitely deserve it. I would have to assume the Hardy Boys will be inducted next year.
Well, depending on if they're wrestling still or not, they could easily have a few more years left in them.
Yeah. But not in WWE, I don't think. Like I said, I see this broken or woken Matt lasting just a short time, and then he'll go on to other things.
Better things, hopefully.
Yeah.
Better things.
Oh my god. Dude, it makes me so mad how Vince has got such a boner for that woken Matt laugh. And that's all his character is now. It's just a stupid laugh.
That was never like a selling point for the fucking broken Matt.
Not at all.
And it's like, oh. But, hey, there's good news. On Matt Hardy's official YouTube channel, actually, I think it came up earlier this evening, close to the time that we were getting ready to air. I came across this. Matt Hardy put a video out on YouTube, and he has reincarnated Vanguard 1 from the Lake of Reincarnation at the Hardy compound. He put on there, and I'm reading this from the YouTube thing. As the Lake of Reincarnation thaws from its frozen slumber, the magic of the Hardy compound becomes more potent, more mystical. As my platoon prepares for the great war with the consumer of terrestrial entities and the grotesque Sister Abigail.
I love that he calls Bray Wyatt the consumer of terrestrial entities, because he is the eater of worlds. At the same time, the consumer of terrestrial entities could also be skewed as the WWE, because they're the company that eats other wrestling companies.
Right.
And I love that.
I love all of his things. Like when he was talking to the goldfish who was supposed to be Napoleon, and he said, when we met at the battle of the Loo of Water. And I was like, I marked so hard for the Loo of Water. The battle of the Loo of Water. And it's like, oh shit.
I gotta say though,
that's the broken we need.
Yeah. I'm kind of digging the new theme song, other than the fact that it starts with the laugh.
I really enjoy the new theme song. Actually, I really enjoy it. The thing I think is that his TNA theme song was a classical song that's public domain, and WWE wouldn't have to pay any rights to use it. Why not just use that? I don't remember what it's called. It's a classic. Right.
Well, similar to like how Daniel 2 weeks ago he came out to a public domain piano. It was some kind of Beethoven or something, and fans shit all over it. And so I think WWE was like, well, let's... And they did. They took the piano, and then they kind of wrapped it up in some metal, and it's a good combination. And
it sounds good.
Yeah, it really does.
It sounds really good. I enjoy it. And it fits the character.
I think if you take out the laugh doesn't need to be there. I get every intro needs to have like something, or every theme song needs to have something like as the getter at the beginning. But the fact that he does the "You shall be deleted" right after the laugh, that's where it should start.
That's all you need. That's his burn it down.
Right.
I definitely not promising for the Woken character.
You know, and we really haven't seen him do anything yet. So that's the hard part. Like, it's just been shitty promos so far.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm still willing to give it a shot. It's some of the most creative and best stuff. You know. All right, on to some sadder portion of the news.
The weekly injury report.
Yeah, I can't believe, Pasty, every week we seem to have a list of names on this. How many people can get injured in a sport where all you do is fucking beat people up and jump off of tall things? It's amazing. So, I mean, you know, we started making an injury report part of our show because we always had so many injuries in the news. And I often thought, like, every week I'm like, oh, it's going to be a short report or we're not going to have anything. And every week I have multiple names, and it's like, it's sad. It's sad. You never want to see anybody lose their job, lose some of their income, be hurt. I mean, you just... No matter what you think of them,
there's more people on the injury report this week than there is on our list of signings.
Yeah, that's sad. That's sad. So here we go. Moose. Moose.
Moose.
Moose. Moose. Moose. You know him from Ring of Honor. You know him from Impact Wrestling. Big burly man. He's a former Impact Wrestling Grand Champion. He suffered a knee injury during last night's set of TV tapings in Orlando. Moose reportedly was helped backstage by several people. Early reports say they don't think he tore anything, and it might be minor, but it was big enough to have him actually escorted backstage and not walking out on his own. So, not much known about this, but we're hoping and praying it's something minor. I'm not a big Moose guy, but I don't want to see him injured. But I'm not into him as a character. He's not my guy.
Yeah. If he was in WWE, he'd be on the Titus brand.
Easily. You know, they'd have Titus going, ooh, 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 and then they'd have Moose with the antlers going, ooh, ooh, ooh. I could just see it. Enzo Amore. Enzo Amore's got a double whammy on today's account. Monday Night Raw, WWE Cruiserweight Champion suffered an injury above his eye. I think it was his left eye. Right eye.
Yep.
That made him bleed profusely throughout his title defense against Cedric Alexander.
Boy, does he
I
bleed
did not
good.
expect to see so much color in a Cruiserweight title match. It was crazy. He got stitched up backstage at the arena and appeared not to have any issues with vision. So all of that seemed to be okay and fine. But he also got counted out due to an ankle injury he attained taking a dive from Alexander. As of now, this appears to just be a work for storyline purposes.
Oh, yeah.
It doesn't
I'm
seem
totally
like
sure it is
the
just...
dive, the ankle is real.
Yeah.
I say, since he was already bleeding like that, why doesn't somebody call an audible and just work that into the story and have that why he ends up getting... Like, why go with the fake fucking ankle injury when you have a real fucking blood coming down his face and you could easily make that into something? That's the only thing I say. Work with what's given to you.
They try to ignore the blood, that's why. They don't want to glorify it. But yeah, I get it. They should have used a legit something rather than coming up with something stupid. Like an ankle injury.
Yeah, if you're gifted something legit, fucking just work with it.
Right. Wrestlers from 30, 40 years ago would slap him across the face for complaining about an ankle injury. You get out there and you fucking work. That's
the problem with them being so scripted nowadays, is that, you know what, when something is given to you, like this bleeding from the head, they don't go with it. They still stick with the plan, which was the twisted ankle. No, go with the bleeding. Go with the blood loss. Go with that. Work that into your story. They're scared. Another one we got here. Samoa Joe. I'm so sad about this one. I am, oh, man, this one hurts. WWE announced on Tuesday the Samoan submission machine injured his foot during his submission win over Rhino on this week's episode of Raw. WWE senior ringside physician Dr. Curtis Amon told WWE.com that Joe felt a pop at the bottom of his right foot during the match. Joe was checked out, and they believe Joe has a plantar fasciitis rupture. I actually had plantar fasciitis for a while, and it's a pain in the ass.
Oh, yeah.
Mine didn't rupture, so I don't know what that feels like, but just having plantar fasciitis was hard to just fucking stand, let alone move. Treatment for a plantar fasciitis rupture would involve Joe wearing a boot on his foot and platelet-rich plasma injections. F4WOnline.com right now is reporting that The Miz is replacing Samoa Joe in the main event position at the WWE live events. Oh, excuse me. Currently including WWE's upcoming Madison Square Garden show on March 16th, where The Miz will take on John Cena and Roman Reigns in an Intercontinental Championship match. The fact that WWE is penciling in Joe's replacement all the way until the middle of March may be an indication of how long they think he will be out with this injury.
God, we hope it's not that long.
That does not sound good.
Yeah, no. Joe just came back from injury. That's the thing that bothers me, is when a good wrestler takes injury, comes back, and gets injured again. Honestly, it makes me believe that their career with WWE isn't very long. And that makes me sad.
And Joe's not a young guy. Not a young guy at all.
And the proof will be in the pudding in just a little while when everything comes full circle and what I called comes to reality. Everything will be made clear.
Yeah, this is not good. I watched it. I watched the match, and then I read he was injured. So I rewatched the match, and I seen his elbow was taped up. So I was like, well, was there something with his elbow already? You know, is that what it is?
That was then a tribute to Dean Ambrose.
Yeah. So then after I read this, I went back and rewatched the end of the match, and he does look to fall kind of off when he falls down.
Yeah.
For his Kakina clutch.
That's just a dangerous move, man. Either you're going to injure somebody or you're going to injure yourself just in that fall.
Yeah, and it doesn't look bad. Like, if you were just watching it, you'd never think it looks bad. Right. But when you're analyzing it, it's like, oh, his foot kind of stays still a little bit while his ankle's moving, and maybe he ruptured. Yeah, I don't know. But
yeah, it's tough. I know I read about it before I watched Raw, and it was hard for me to see where he was injured.
Yeah. We hope for the best. Talk about old-timies. Fred Ottman. How many of you listening or watching know the name Fred Ottman? I'll bet you know some of his monikers. Fred Ottman, also known as Uncle Fred in the back by a lot of folks. He was a beloved individual, a giant.
And one of the most infamous people in professional wrestling.
He was known as Tugboat. He was known as Typhoon. But he was infamously known as the Shockmaster. Didn't last long. Anyways, he is reportedly not doing too well. Both Lisa Verone, who is Tara or Victoria, whatever you want to call her, and Lanny Poffo, who is the genius from WWE, or the Macho Man Randy Savage's brother.
Yep.
They both posted vague messages about the former WWE and WCW star on social media, talking about him just not doing well and to send prayers.
He hasn't been doing very good for a while, though. I mean, it wasn't that long ago that he had a Kickstarter or a GoFundMe put up to help pay for his medical bills. I remember that.
Yeah, so I'm not sure what's going on right now, but again, as with everybody right here, we wish him the best. If you watched WWE or WCW as a youngster, you watched Fred Ottman.
Right.
I remember Tugboat. I remember when Tugboat turned on Hogan and then joined Earthquake and became Typhoon in the Natural Disasters. And Natural Disasters, when I go back and watch WWF, they were horrible. They're horrible to watch. They can't do anything. They're just two big dudes that jump on people and clothesline. That's about it. When I was a kid, I thought they were one of the greatest fucking tag teams in the world because they were two giant dudes who fucking sat on people and clotheslined them. You know, it's like, yeah, hope the best for him. We saved the saddest for last. This is breaking news.
Man, I hate that I called this shit last week too.
Yeah, this came out just late afternoon today. Paige, folks, Paige. We joke about her, but we love her. Per PW Insider, the woman born Saraya Jade Beavis, who a lot of you know as Paige from the WWE, was informed that she will not be cleared to return to the ring after her most recent in-ring injury. Now, the following statement is taken directly from pwinsider.com. They say, "We have confirmed with multiple sources it is believed Paige was given the news at the Raw taping this past Monday. We have been told by multiple sources she is done as an in-ring wrestler. During a 6-woman tag team bout on December 28, 2017 at the Nassau Coliseum in Uniondale, Long Island, Paige had her back to Sasha Banks, who was behind her against the turnbuckles. Banks used the ropes to pull herself up and kicked with both legs into Paige's back. Paige, obviously not ready for the bump, went down. She tried to get up, but could not get her legs under her. Finally did get up and turned to grab Banks, immediately falling down again and rolling over to her back, where she stayed. The referee checked on her and called for the bell. She was examined by WWE medical personnel, and a stretcher was brought to ringside to transport her back to the locker room. After several minutes, Paige walked out under her own power. It was believed at the time that Paige had suffered a stinger leading up to her losing feeling in her extremities. Giving her previous neck surgery, WWE pulled her from the ring and set up further testing, which led to this week's decision. Paige had been announced for the first ever Women's Royal Rumble match on January 28th in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, after she was injured, but we are told that was before medical testing led to the determination that she was to be pulled from performing as an in-ring competitor. She will be replaced in the match, and all signs are that she will be relegated to a non-physical role in the company going forward. That's the end of PW Insider's quote. Now, keep in mind, this just came out late this afternoon, and there could be more to this story. In fact, around noon today, Paige posted on Instagram saying, "The comeback is always stronger than the setback. Heart emoji at WWE." Now keep in mind, this poor girl is only 25 years old. Although she has been wrestling since she was 13, so she has a, 12-year wrestling career?
Yeah.
This is still tragic if this ends up being the case. A lot more information needs to come out. And it could be a Daniel Bryan case where maybe she leaves WWE and wrestles elsewhere and is okay. Man, take it, Pasty. Take it.
It's sad. It's very sad. But I called this last week when the match happened and I saw the fall. It's a terrible thing when somebody's out for over a year because of an injury and then they come back and get re-injured. And I think it's a big deal. I am glad that you corrected yourself from what it says in the notes, because you in the notes said she had a 22-year career. And that would mean she's been wrestling since she was 3 years old, folks.
Yeah, my apparently my math was not correct, and as I read it, my mind said, that cannot be fucking right. Yeah, I was, you know me, Pasty. You know me.
Oh, yeah.
I don't always write things correctly, but I usually spit them out better than I fucking write. I'm a better talker than I am a presenter, I guess. I don't write as well as I speak. Rock on.
Ugh. No, it's rough stuff, man. I mean, at least they're willing to keep her around in the company. You know, maybe she can just go on to be the manager of her stable, and it would be the same thing.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. The timing is horrible for her only being 25, but if this is true, at least to ride out her contract, she has a stable that she created, and she can run, and she can be the experienced wrestler in the group. And continue to make a paycheck, continue to be on TV, continue to contribute to the product. And I would love that at least. You know, she's still got her movie coming out, the Dwayne Johnson produced movie. She still has that coming out. I have to believe, as young as she is, that this is not the last time she's wrestling. Again, like a Daniel Bryan thing, this may be the last time she wrestles in WWE, but I cannot believe that this is the last time that she wrestles. Her parents own a fucking wrestling company, for God's sakes.
Right. It makes me worry too. I mean, her Samoa Joe, I mean, he hasn't been shelved yet, but Hideo Itami, you know, all these people who get injured and come back and get re-injured, it kind of makes me almost second guess myself on whether or not Daniel Bryan will ever wrestle again. Because I think every time one of these reoccurring injuries happens, WWE puts another lock on it. You know what I mean? Like, we can't have you going out there and paralyzing yourself. It's hard. It's difficult, especially since she was out recovering for well over a year. For her to come back and just fall to injury again almost immediately. It's
you know what?
It's difficult to say how much time is enough time. Or what if too much time can kind of lead you into re-injuring yourself as well? It's a hard call.
What about this? This brings me to an argument that I didn't come up with on my own. It's been an argument for decades. But it begs to be brought up now and then. Do wrestlers, especially in WWE, do they deserve an off season? Are they just wrestling too much? Are they, when you come back to work, you come back to work on a full schedule, wrestling at least 4 days a week, every week, how many days a year, traveling, how many days a year when you're not wrestling, staying in hotel rooms, not getting full sleep, not having enough time to heal. I mean, is it time that we said, you know what? Have them on rotating shifts.
Yeah.
You have X amount of wrestlers that wrestle from January 1st to, I don't know what you want to say. Maybe,
I wouldn't even say
August.
January these 10 wrestlers wrestle for these months. I wouldn't. I would almost stagger it to where you almost wouldn't even really notice.
I'd overlap it. You want to overlap it. You don't want like only these wrestlers wrestle this amount of time and then these from here. You want these wrestlers wrestle from January to September, and then the other batch wrestles from March to October, and then the other much does May to December. Like, you want to stagger it a little bit, and there's still going to be injuries. I mean, this is not an easy sport. There's still going to be some injuries, but I mean, are we asking too much of our wrestlers? I mean, it begs the question. It begs the question. And it'll never be accident-free 100%. I get that.
Right. Shit happens.
Never.
And you can't overprotect from that either, because it's going to take away from the content. You got to let things come and go as they will, but you always have to have something waiting, like a better storyline just set aside for in case something happens. You know what I mean?
Yeah. She's too good. I don't ever want to see this to happen to anybody, but she has the drive, she has the passion, she has the talent, she has the speaking ability, she has Paige has everything you want in a pro wrestler.
I also have to go out here and say how much of this, with her not being cleared to wrestle in WWE, I mean, she's not out of the company, so maybe that null and voids my thought process here, but wasn't recently more of her nudes/videos released?
Correct.
And so I feel like maybe that could play into it as well.
Like maybe they're just using this as a good excuse to just let her go.
You were injured again, but the real reason why is because you're not a good example on the young women watching WWE programming.
I could see it being the final straw. I feel like they had to bring her back because they knew the movie was coming and they want to make money off the movie.
Yeah.
But then when she had more nudes released, I guess I could see that being like, okay, this is just the straw that broke the camel's back. Yeah. If you hadn't had any nudes, we'd be like, okay, let's keep you off for a year and see how you're doing after rehabbing for a year. But now it's like, nope, we got a good excuse to let you go. Nobody's going to think twice about it. Bye, Felicia. Yeah, I could see that. Definitely. Definitely. Sad, though.
Yes, very sad.
Like you said, it's sad that we got more on our injured list than our fucking signed list. Never like more negatives than positives. Hey, here's something that's either a negative or a positive. I don't fucking know. The new WWE show that's gonna be on Facebook stream, or what the fuck is it called?
I don't know. Facebook Live?
Facebook television. It's called Mixed Match Challenge. And WWE has released all of the teams, because remember, this is a male-female team, and the brackets. So we're going to give you, just now, we haven't had a single match. All we know is who's all competing. Pasty and I are going to give you our breakdown of who we think's going to win each match, all the way down to who we think's going to win the whole son of a bitch.
Yeah!
I'll let you go, Pasty. I got all mine in front of me, picked out, ready to go. You can take your time and think of what you want and what you think. Tell the folks what week it is, who's facing who, and then who you think is going to win that one.
All right. Well, we have a 12-week schedule for this show. One match a week, which is kind of lackluster, but it makes sense for the platform that they're doing the show on.
Yeah, it's a brand new platform. I mean, for not only for WWE, but for Facebook.
Ooh. All right. Week 1 has us seeing the two wonderful teams of Finn Balor and Sasha Banks versus Shinsuke Nakamura and Natalya. Personally, I think Balor Banks goes over in this one.
I also have Balor and Banks winning over Shinsuke and Natalya in week 1. Yeah. Natalya
Shinsuke
always
is good,
gets
but
shits
Natalya's
on.
going to hold him back.
Exactly. Yep, we have the same thoughts.
Week 2 has the matchup of The Miz and Asuka versus Big E and Carmella. And I think this one is a given. Miz and Asuka are moving on.
I also have Miz and Asuka, and it's kind of, I think this is underwhelming because you almost have to assume Miz and Asuka's moving on. Miz is too big and Asuka is undefeated, but they put like a week's worth of building up. Who is Carmella going to team with? Who is Carmella going to team with out of the New Day? Who is she teaming with? Just for them to lose in the first round, it's like, why didn't you just say Big E instead of making it a big deal just for them to lose?
Right.
I don't know.
I don't know either. Should have been Paige and Xavier Woods.
Should have been Paige and Woods.
Man, there was memes going around the internet all about that. And so much outrage in the comments section on those posts.
Oh yeah, there was.
People get the fuck over it.
Well, did you see? Facebook or not Facebook? Beef Sticks posted on Facebook about how the Rhodes boys have a certain type to them, and let me get it here, because in this challenge, Goldust is paired with Alicia Fox. Okay.
Yep.
Now we all remember when Dusty Rhodes was in WWE. He was with I can't remember her name. Overweight black gal in polka dots. Anyways, God, I should remember her name because she's iconic. Anyways, he was with her. Cody Rhodes is married to Brandy Rhodes. Goldust partnered with Booker T. Goldust partnered with R-Truth. Yeah, but that's not her stage name. But Goldust partnered with R-Truth, with Booker T. He's partnered with Cedric Alexander. There's something that the Rhodes brothers, the Rhodes boys, all have in common with their partners.
They all got a little bit of soul.
They got the jungle fever, I tell you what. But yeah.
Yeah.
What do we got? What's coming up on week 3?
Week 3 sees the phenomenal matchup of Strowman and Bliss versus Zayn and Lynch, which is another really sad build-up with like Zayn and Lynch with their teaming thing where Zayn's out in disguise. He's like, "Can you sign this?" He says, "Look, it's you, and will you be my partner?" And they're all happy and smiling and hugging. And I think they're going to lose week 3 because I got Strowman and Bliss all the way.
Okay, now you and I talked about this before we recorded, but we have to bring it up on air. Fucking Sami Zayn was a complete fucking face during that segment where he's like, "Becky Lynch, let's be partners." Oh, and they hug and they kiss. The day, fucking less than 24 hours before, he's on Raw being a super fucking heel and being an ass. WWE, treat us like we have fucking brains. You can't just fucking skip from fucking Monday to Tuesday and completely flip a character. We know it's an act, but let me put it this way, okay? Yes, we know that this is scripted, and that's been out of the bag for a long time. But I like the show Shameless. I don't know how many folks out there watch Shameless, but it's pretty popular, so some folks listening to this should know Shameless. I enjoy Frank on Shameless. He's a deadbeat, loser, alcoholic, crack-smoking dad who steals money and punches little girls. I don't want to watch one episode where all of a sudden he's this fucking ne'er-do-well who takes care of everybody, loves people, dresses in clean and sharp clothes.
Typical 90s sitcom dad.
Nice. Yeah, I don't want to see him do that for an episode. So yes, we know it's fake. We know it's produced. We know they're characters. But you have to stay with your characters because you're a TV show.
Right.
You can't fucking do this. Nonetheless, yes, I picked Strowman and Bliss. And folks, if you want to get a good laugh, go to facebook.com/Beefsticks Podcast and look at the comparison between Braun Strowman and Alexa Bliss and the Beast and Belle from Disney's Beauty and the Beast. Complete with Kurt Angle taking the spot of Cogsworth. Good pick. Check it out.
Check it out. Who you got picked for this one?
So, just to let you know, yours and mine, so far we've had the same 3. We've picked 3 Raw teams in a row.
Yeah. That all changes in the next matchup.
Same fucking down to like. Keep going.
We'll be the same all the way to the finals, I'm sure. Week 4 has the teams of Goldust and Alicia Fox versus Jimmy Uso and his wife Naomi. Jey Uso, Jimmy Uso, which one? Not sure, but they're married and they're teaming together. And therefore, they have staying power! And they will beat Goldust and Alicia Fox.
I'm right there with you. I got Naomi and Uso, whichever Uso it may be.
Hey, that's what WWE put on their mixed match challenge. They don't even know which Uso it is.
They don't know. Do you have SmackDown through the rest of this first bracket?
Not really.
Oh, okay. So keep going. So we do have difference of opinions.
Maybe. I mean, okay, week 5, we got the team of Elias and Bailey versus Rusev and Lana. And I think WWE split them up. Rusev changed his gimmick against WWE's wishes. And they're still going to shit on him. Rusev and Lana are going to lose to Elias and Bailey. And it's going to be Bailey pinning Lana.
Okay. That's the first one we've disagreed on, because I have Rusev Lana for the win on this one.
I could see if maybe Rusev and Lana were fighting Uso and Naomi in the next round, but that wouldn't line up anyway. So that's why I think Elias and Bailey move on. Week 6 has Cruz and Nia Jax versus Bobby Roode and Charlotte Flair. Did you hear Nia Jax's shit about how she would have much rather teamed up with Enzo, and
yes.
she likes Cruz, but she wishes he didn't have all the baggage he has.
And you know what? I honestly think that they were building up Enzo and Nia for this, and then he got injured and they couldn't go through with it. I honestly think that's where they were going with it. In which case, I don't think they're going to win because it's not what they planned for. I'm going Roode Flair.
Oh, yeah. All the way. Roode Flair for sure. Well, not all the way, but maybe to the finals.
So that is the first round brackets, folks. We got that takes 6 weeks. Each blah, 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 then I'll get back and on. Each match takes place in 1 week's time. I don't mean the match is a week long. I just mean we just get one match per week.
Right.
So moving on to the next bracket, we got 3 more matches. Where are you at, Pasty White?
Well, if our picks ring true, because this is where it gets kind of hard, because if our picks don't ring true, this is all going to be fuckered up.
Oh, yeah.
Week 7 would be Balor and Banks versus Miz and Asuka, and I think Miz and Asuka move on over them.
I also have Week 7 being Balor and Banks versus Miz and Asuka, and I also see Miz and Asuka moving on.
Good. Week 8 would be Braun Strowman and Alexa Bliss versus Uso and Naomi, and I think Strowman and Bliss go over there.
I have the same brackets, and I have the same winners. Strowman and Bliss beating Uso and Naomi.
And now this is where it gets hard to discuss, because we have different picks. Week 9,
okay.
In my realm, it would be Elias and Bayley versus Bobby Roode and Charlotte Flair, with Charlotte Flair and Bobby Roode going over.
It doesn't get too confusing, folks. I have Rusev and Lana versus Roode and Flair, with Roode and Flair moving on. So right now we have all the same 3 people in position for the upcoming week, or the upcoming brackets.
Yes.
So now it's down to the final 2 matches before we get to the final match. You and I have the same for Week 10, Miz and Asuka versus Strowman and Bliss. What do you see happening in Week 10, Pasty White, my friend?
Strowman and Bliss will go over. Asuka will not take the pinfall.
I see Miz and Asuka winning, with Asuka pinning Bliss.
You think so?
So we differ there. I do.
And
I don't know if it's right, but that's what I'm predicting.
Week 11 is an interesting one, because it will be Roode and Flair versus
for both of us.
Fan vote. And
so
I
we
believe...
have to guess who the fans are going to actually vote. Which team are the fans going to vote back into this? So you and I both have Roode and Flair. Who do you pick as who the fans are going to vote back into this?
I pick Rusev and Lana. That's why I think they're out in the first round.
See, and I got the opposite. I pick Elias and Bayley. Because they're both fan favorites who WWE isn't super behind. If the fan vote is legit, this WWE is not going to have any control over this.
Other than they're going to lose to Roode and Flair.
But obviously, yeah, that's what I was going to say. If WWE doesn't have control over this, they're obviously going to lose anyways, because WWE has a plan. But I pick Elias and Bayley as the fan vote, and I pick Roode and Flair winning also.
Okay, so then my Week 12 would come down to Strowman and Bliss versus Bobby Roode and Charlotte Flair.
So we both have Bobby Roode and Charlotte Flair in the final of this. We just have a different Raw. So we both say it's Raw versus SmackDown, which also I did not purposely do, but that does make sense, that it would be a Raw versus SmackDown at the end.
Yeah. And in my eyeballs, in my mentality and mind, Strowman and Bliss are taking the whole fucking tournament.
Okay.
Bliss has been too dominant. Strowman can't be beat by any guy in this lineup. It'll be a good match.
So I'm going the other way. My final week has The Miz and Asuka versus Bobby Roode and Charlotte Flair. And I see Roode pinning The Miz, so Asuka still doesn't technically take a pin or a loss, but she loses this.
Right. Honestly, I think in this tournament,
win.
it wouldn't count against her anyway, even if she did take a pinfall, because it isn't a standard match type.
It won't for WWE, but for us real fans, it's a loss.
Yeah.
But I can see them doing that. I actually counted the weeks out, and week 12 is still going to be before Mania. Like, my thought is maybe after Mania they'll still have Asuka lose then, because her winning streak isn't as important. But nope, by week 12 we still have 2 weeks before Mania, so sucks. But yeah, I'm going with Roode and Flair, and you're going with Strowman Bliss. So that's what we've called as the finals. Folks, this is just with names being thrown out there. We haven't seen anything, no matches, we have no fucking idea. But with that being said, we do know what the charities are for each one. Both Pasty and I made our decisions without looking at the charities beforehand.
And
so
even if we looked at the charities,
careful.
as you had pointed out before the show, it would be very difficult to pick who would win, just due to the charities.
I think so. Because there's a lot that are super WWE friendly, or vice versa. So, the winner, whichever team wins this, gets $100,000 to the charity of their choice. But every team that is in this match, their charitable organization will automatically receive $10,000. So every charity receives at least $10,000. One's going to get $100,000. I'm going to read them off just in alphabetical order from charity and who's representing them. So there's no real order here other than just alphabetically. AmeriCares is a charity that helps save lives and improve health for people affected by poverty or disaster. And the team representing them are Bailey and Elias Sampson.
Makes sense. Hugs and walks.
It makes help. Boys and Girls Club of America. I really enjoy this one. They provide the resources needed to enable all young people, especially those who need them the most, to reach their full potential as productive,
they mean
caring,
inner city kids
citizens.
or African Americans. Yes. Thusly, why
and
they're being represented by Jimmy Uso
and Naomi. A big WWE hard-on is Connor's Cure. In fact, they helped create that one. This one raises awareness and funds for pediatric cancer research in partnership with the V Foundation and Children's Hospital of Pittsburgh. This one is being represented by Alexa Bliss and Braun Strowman.
Hence the reason they're going to win the tournament.
More likely than who I think will win the tournament.
Right.
Girl up. Yes, folks, girl up. A fucking charity nobody knew fucking existed till right now, which is a United Nations Foundation initiative that inspires and connects girls globally through its leadership program that positions girls to be change makers in their community, which is represented by who I think is going to win, Bobby Roode and Charlotte Flair.
And this just in, folks, for the entire tournament, Bobby Roode will be discarding his robes and wearing elegant dresses as he girls up for his charity.
Next one, Global Citizen, which encourages the collective actions of people around the world with the goal of ending extreme poverty by the year 2030. At least they have a fucking realistic goal.
And who better to support this charity than the Brute of Bulgaria?
Lana and Rusev both. Next we got Heroes for Hire, Hire Heroes USA, which empowers U.S. military members, veterans, and military spouses to succeed in the civilian workforce. That one there's Alicia Fox.
Shows how much WWE appreciates military members with this team being out in the first round.
Damn right. Kaboom! Never fucking heard of Kaboom either, but Kaboom is dedicated to making sure all kids get the childhood they deserve through great safe places to play. Don't know what the fuck that means. That's represented by Big E and Carmella. Make-A-Wish. Finally, a foundation we actually fucking know exists. Make-A-Wish, we all know what Make-A-Wish does. That's represented by Natalya and Shinsuke Nakamura. Sorry, Make-A-Wish. Sorry. Rescue Dogs Rock. Never heard of it, but I already fucking love it.
It's like Schoolhouse Rock, but for rescue dogs.
Better than Schoolhouse Rock. Better. It is an animal rescue organization whose goal is to provide homeless, neglected, or abused pups the medical care they need and the loving home they deserve. They are represented by Asuka and The Miz. Good for fucking you. I'll be happy if you win this.
You won't.
UNICEF. UNICEF works in more than 190 countries and territories to put children first and works toward the day when no children suffer from preventable causes. UNICEF USA supports UNICEF's work through fundraising, advocacy, and education in the United States. That's Becky Lynch and Sami Zayn. I'm surprised Sami Zayn's charity is not what he's representing, because he has his own charity, so that's kind of surprising. Special Olympics is a global inclusion movement using sport, health, education, and leadership programs every day around the world to empower people with intellectual disabilities. Special Olympics is awesome. I think we all know Special Olympics. That one is represented by Finn Balor and Sasha Banks. And then we have the bullshit fucking steal your money, cocksucking right. Susan G. Komen.
The WWE owned charity.
This charity's mission is to make this charity's mission is to make money off of poor and suffering folks. None of the money is going to go to help anybody. It is a complete bastardization of your love and your hope and your help and your respect, and it is represented by Apollo Crews and Nia Jax. So that, my friends, is fucking that.
Connor's Cure is going to get the money, I'm telling you.
So we got a handful of minutes left. We got 2 tweet, and we got Jerry of the Week coming up, and I think we're good, Pasty.
And as always, as recently, folks, you will also be able to see 2 tweet on our Facebook page after the show.
Yes, I do apologize to anybody who checked this last week. I didn't get it up till like Tuesday. I apologize. Hopefully I'll get ours up tomorrow this time. I was just really busy. Pasty, kill some time. I've been holding it, but I am going to fucking take a stop and piss, and then we'll get back and we'll tweet the 2s. Or if you want to get on the 2 tweeting, go right ahead, because I know what the fuck they say.
All right. Well, folks, Woken Matt Hardy has rocked the world once more as he has tweeted, "I am thrilled to proclaim that we have acquired new allies on our side of the Great War. Ed Nornholm and the Owl of Anthem have revealed themselves as majestic beings who stand on the side of the light. The light always emerges. Hashtag Woken Warriors. Everything is copacetic and wonderful. Yes. Ah. Oh, yeah. Yes. Ah. Yes. The word backstage at yesterday's Impact Wrestling taping in Florida was that the photo of Matt Hardy and Ed Nornholm that Hardy tweeted was actually taken a week or so ago in Toronto when Hardy was in town for a WWE live event there. There has been speculation that there was a settlement between the two sides, and it's possible that there was paperwork signed. As reported here on Beefsticks, the reality is that Anthem had already thrown in the towel when the decision was made to let all former talents have the rights to their gimmicks, trademarks, and copyrights. Yes! Oh, wow! Yes! Oh, yeah, oh. That's 90% of what I did while you were gone.
That's cool. I was holding it for a while, and then I had to check on the kid. And then I go to take a piss, man. And it fucking looks like a goddamn tampon in my fucking toilet.
You know,
my poor son had a bloody nose, and he had it. You know, he clogged it up with a damn tissue and got it in there. Threw it in the toilet and didn't flush it. I go open it up, and there's a big fucking wad of bloody fucking tissue in there. I don't live with women. I shouldn't have to fucking see that shit.
Yes.
Damn it all.
Oh, wow, yeah.
Damn it. My dog came and joined us, so that's cool. She's good. She knows what she's doing.
All right, I will let you take it back with the next tweet.
We knocked off the first tweet?
Yep.
All right, next one is from our friend at Beef Sticks Podcast. We love him. We respect him. We give him shit, but we hope to have him on the show sometime. Vince Russo. Vince Russo brings up a pretty obvious point. Vince Russo tweeted, Russo Ferrara being snubbed to Raw 25th anniversary? You can write all the revisionist propaganda you want. We'll never change the numbers. That will be there long after we're both gone. We all need to humble ourselves. Everybody was great during that period, especially the fans. Does everybody know Russo Ferrara, Tasty?
I know Russo. I'm not sure about Ferrara.
So Vince Russo and Ed Ferrara were the two head writers during what you would call the Attitude Era. They're the ones that helped create the Vince McMahon character, Stone Cold Steve Austin, Mick Foley winning the title, China, DX, Sable, blah, 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 blah. They were the two guys that basically were in charge during the biggest ratings of WWE. They also both went to work for WCW in late 99. Seen some of WCW's worst stuff, but they did a lot of very good things there also with the New Blood storylines and stuff. So I agree with Vince Russo. They were only big behind the scenes though, so I don't know that they have to be a part of WWE Raw. But they definitely need to be acknowledged.
Honestly, this whole tweet to me says that Vince Russo is a little jealous that they didn't ask him to come be on it. He would have turned him down, but I think you know, with the big 12-year-old baby that Vince Russo is, he just wanted to be asked.
I think he's super. Yeah, I think he's super jealous that they didn't ask him to be on it.
I don't think WWE is slanting or slandering him in any way by doing this Raw 25th anniversary show.
No, they're not. But I do agree.
And I do wish that he would be there. He should be there.
You have to. Yeah, you have to acknowledge that him and Ed Ferrara both were a key reason why WWE is where it's at today. Now, again, they weren't on-screen characters, so should they be, like, on camera at the 25th anniversary show? Probably not. But in the weeks leading up to it, where they're showing all these clips, should they mention them? Why not?
Yeah, I think they should.
Why not? All right, we're going into Pacey's favorite territory.
Hey, I told you about this, and did you look up the Wendy's tweets after last week?
And you know what? I've just happened to notice tweets that have been coming, and I've noticed that you are right. They are awesome with their tweets.
Yeah, Wendy's is the king of tweets when it comes to fast food. And every fast food chain has attempted to one-up them and failed.
I still say Arby's has the best social media PR, like all their videos and their different Facebook posts. But Wendy's have the best tweet. Arby's owns Facebook. Wendy's owns Twitter.
Yeah.
Basically. So, Kenny King. So apparently, a little backstory here, folks. Wendy's had a roast day where you go on there and you ask Wendy's to roast you, and they would do it. So, Kenny King, who a lot of you know as former X Division champion, former Ring of Honor champion, former Ring of Honor tag team champion with the All Night Express, just on and on and on. Kenny King, we know Kenny King. He tweeted Wendy's saying, Wendy's, I was late. Can I get a late roast? And Wendy's responded with, You forgot about National Roast Day? Guess it was about as memorable as your X Division Championship reign. Which is good. Yeah. I like that.
Yeah.
But it's even better because Kenny King then responded with, there were 2. But dang, son, I guess I asked for that. Not only was it not memorable, neither one was memorable. Then we got Lance Storm. Folks may remember Lance Storm from WCW. I don't know if he ever appeared in WWE after they bought WCW. He might have.
I think he did.
He's probably best remembered, though, for his time in Smoky Mountain Wrestling and in ECW. He was in a tag team called the Impact Players with him and Chris Jericho. And they're one of the best fucking tag teams you will ever see. Go on YouTube and look up the Impact Players. And you will see some good fucking shit from long before either one was in WCW or WWE. Lance Storm. He wrote Twitter. And he said, well, he responded to Twitter. I'm sorry. And Wendy said they were talking to Impact Wrestling. Because, okay, we actually didn't talk about this. This is kind of big news. Maybe we should talk about it. Impact Wrestling has changed back to a 4-sided ring, a square, from their 6-sided ring, or their sectagon. Am I saying that right? Sectagon?
I think so. Their
sextagon.
sextagon.
No, it's not sextagon. You just wanted to say sex. Cetagon is 7. I think it's sectagon. A pentagon is
Septagon.
5. Yeah, we'll say sectagon. Anyway, so they changed it back to a square ring. So Wendy's tweeted, you know our stance on cheeseburgers. We're a big fan of square. To where Lance Storm said, Wendy's has the best Twitter. That's all he said. He said, Wendy's has the best Twitter. So Wendy's responded to him, are you being serious for a minute? If you don't know Lance Storm, that's probably not funny. And you're probably like, why the fuck am I still listening to this podcast? If you did know Lance Storm, his whole gimmick was that he was super serious. And he kind of was in real life too. But he would go in the middle of the ring and all the people in the audience would be doing stuff and all that. And he'd take the mic and he'd be like, can I be serious for a minute? And he'd just have a serious look on his face. Can I be serious for a minute? And then he'd go and cut a heel promo, where he was just super... he had no charisma. He's one of those guys that made no charisma his gimmick. Most people fail because they have no charisma. He was like, I have no charisma. That's my gimmick. So, yeah, I still love the fact that Wendy's is a big wrestling fan. That's all we had for tweet. Like I said, I'm going to try to get better at this and pop them onto Facebook tomorrow right away so you can get them. I did get last week's on Facebook, though. It is facebook.com/beefsticks podcast. If you want to see those. There were a couple that didn't get on here. And I think there's a couple this week also that didn't get on here that just... Some of them aren't as funny if you don't see them. Like, some of them are pictures and stuff like that. And it's like, So check us out, Beefsticks, facebook.com/Beefsticks podcast, or just go to Facebook and search Beefsticks podcast. All right, we have a Jerry of the Week again.
Boom! Jerry of the Week.
Boom!
Boom!
This week, Jerry is Pop TV, folks. Pop TV. You know what? This is a Jerry, I'm giving him Jerry of the Week, but I kind of understand what happened. But there wasn't a lot of Jerrys this week, which is always a good thing. And this was to me like, yeah, you were a Jerry. So I'm giving it to Pop TV, whether they deserve it or not. So, according to Conan, you all remember Conan, K-Dog, Max Moon in WWE way back when in a mask for like one fucking show. You know K-Dog. Anyways, according to Conan, the barbed wire massacre match, which would see OVE, which was Ohio versus Everything, For those of you who don't know, that's Sami Callihan, who used to be, what did they call him in WWE for a cup of coffee pasty?
Oh my God.
He was the hacker. Solomon Crowe.
Yeah, there you
Solomon
go.
Crowe.
Yep.
Sami Zayn, Sami Callihan, who used to be Solomon Crowe in WWE, with the former Ohio is for Killers, Dave and Jake Christ, which is an awesome underrated tag team. Go check them out. They had a match against LAX, Homicide, Santana, and Angel Ortiz. This was a barbed wire massacre match. It apparently will not be airing on the upcoming episode of Impact on Pop TV, but it will be available on Twitch. This feud has been built up since before November's Bound for Glory between OVE and LAX. Who has the best tag team that's only 3 letters, you know what I mean?
Right.
And is being billed as the main event, has been billed as the main event for this upcoming week's show. According to Conan, the move was done because Pop TV deemed the match too violent. Those bitches. Nobody watches your fucking network anyways.
Right.
Put this shit on. The match would have been, so they could have made history. Pop TV could have made history. The match would have been the very first barbed wire, no rope match, which aired on national television in America. They bitched out and they pulled it. Their main fucking event, they bitched out and pulled it. It's going to air on Twitch. I recommend fucking watching this. It's already been recorded. I've heard it's a good match. Find it online. It's a barbed wire massacre match. OVE, if you know Ohio is for Killers, or you know fucking Sami Callihan, you know they're fucking ruthless. Homicide, Angel Ortiz, Santana, Badass, LAX. Pop, why are you fucking making us search for it? We could have watched it on the fucking cable network, and now you're making us search for it. Right. You're a fucking Jerry. You're a fucking Jerry.
Fucking Jerry. I mean, it's just a barbed wire match, too. I mean, it can be brutal, but there could be worse things. There could definitely be worse things than a barbed wire match.
We see, the thing is, they get so gun-shy with wrestling. The kind of shit that you see on cable TV on other shows is fucking ruthless. You see people murdered on a lot of shows on cable TV.
Yes. And
they, just because it's wrestling, they fucking puss out on these things. It's like, just go with it. Just go! Lucha Underground will do it on El Rey Network. They've had some brutal fucking bloody matches.
Oh, yeah.
Shit! Just do it. Yeah. That's our Jerry of the Week.
Jerry of the Week! Fucking Pop TV. You fucking Jerry. You fucking so-and-so.
Oh, Pasty, that's all I have for this week. You have anything we need to talk about, bring up, do, shenanigans?
Yeah. I have a kind of a runner-up Jerry of the Week. I suppose I should throw that graphic back up here for this.
Jerry it back up!
The Jerry I ran across this week, and it's kind of a stupid thing. But The Rock has been teaming up with BuzzFeed Video and doing, like, The Rock reviews, and he looks back on his career, and he talks about things. Like, he did one with his first movie role as the Scorpion King. This one that they just released is him talking about all of his times being on Saturday Night Live. Maybe this isn't new. But there was the cold open where he was The Rock Obama.
Yep.
And he does the Hulk out thing, because Obama was generally a level-headed president. You never saw him get angry, and so they wanted to explore that, and it wound up being a cold open. And it's not that often that the host of the show is a part of the cold open. It's rarely done.
Correct.
So they go all the way through it, and live from New York, it's Saturday night! And then it cuts back to The Rock in the studio. He's like, oh man, it was so good to say that. One of the most iconic things you could do on television is say, live from New York, it's Saturday Night Live! Facepalm.
Live from New York, it's Saturday night!
Like, he's so hype about it. And just facepalm. And that also kind of ties me into when The Rock was announced that he was doing the soundtrack for WWE 2K18. He went on this big spiel about how it was so important for him to have music from Tech 9 and Mayday. And in his rant about the music on there, he talked about Tech 9. Tech 9's great, legend. And then he turned around and talked about Mayday. And anybody who's a fan of strange music knows Mayday is a group of 2 MCs and a varying amount of backing band members. But he referred to them as one person. Yeah, one person. So he only gave one person credit, and he says they're his favorite group out there now. No, they're fucking not. Honestly, all that had led me to believe that Tech 9 probably met up with Rock in Hollywood somewhere at a club, partied with them, and then paid him off a bunch of money to be their corporate celebrity to get them further in the game. Because he obviously knows nothing about his favorite group in hip-hop right now.
Exactly.
And it upsets me how many people who are fans of the music that just gave him a pass on it. No. It's been out there. He's been posting videos of his favorite workout music for years. And Mayday was always one of them. And all this time later, you still think Mayday is one person? Go fuck yourself. I love you, Rock. But, god damn it. The reason you don't got hair is because you're a fucking blonde and you shave it.
I think that's definitely a Jerry, man. You don't fake the funk, man. Don't fake the funk. If you don't know, you don't know. Don't fake the funk.
I did think about it while you were talking. I do have something else to say about wrestling.
Before I do, though, The Rock, actor. I watched the new Jumanji. Strongly fucking recommend it. I'm a 90s kid who loved the original Jumanji, and I thought I was going to hate this new one. I loved it. One of the better movies I've seen.
After I learned how they tied the board game to the video game, I was definitely more impressed with it. I still haven't seen it yet.
I was happy that they explained why it's a video game and not a board game, because that was one of my biggest complaints.
Yeah.
And they explain it. They explain it like within the first 10 minutes. So I'm glad they did that, because they do. It's not just like, oh, hey, here's a Jumanji video game. No, they explain why it's a video game and not a board game. So it's cool. I'm just going to say I recommend it, folks. Go out there and check it out.
How is Jack Black at playing a teenage girl? Is it wonderful?
It's actually, I thought it was going to be overdone, and he does it just enough that it works. He doesn't overdo it. He does it like almost perfect to where it's like, okay, this isn't the butt of every fucking joke. In fact, it's very few jokes are made at Jack Black's expense as the teenage girl, and the ones that do work. So that's kind of cool. But wrestling related, I don't make New Year's resolutions, but I have a goal for this year, and that is to make beef sticks. To get back to what we kind of originally wanted was for it to be not just, and it isn't, but not just a WWE podcast, but a wrestling podcast. So I'm going to try to take in more Ring of Honor and New Japan shows and just talk briefly about them. So New Japan had New Year's Bash. I haven't watched it yet. I'm going to watch it probably tomorrow or the next day, maybe Sunday. But I did want to say some interesting things are going on, folks. We had Jay White, who faced Tanahashi at Wrestle Kingdom 12, was given the new membership of Bullet Club. Kenny Omega called him out, the new member of Bullet Club. Brought him out there, gave him the shirt. It was awesome. Jay White turned on him, ripped the shirt off. He's a part of Chaos, Okada's faction.
Yep.
Badass. It's cool. It's great. I love that. I love to see Bullet Club get snubbed there. That was kind of neat.
And then the top all that off, didn't Cody go after Kenny Omega?
That's what I'm going.
Icing on the fucking cake, man.
That's what I'm getting to. Ibushi was getting attacked by the Bullet Club, Cody in particular, and Kenny Omega, who is former partner with Kota Ibushi, came out to help his friend. He's like, no, don't fuck with him. Don't. Why are you guys doing this? He's cool. He's cool. He's not Bullet Club, but he's cool. Don't hurt him. And so Cody and Kenny Omega got in kind of a little fucking huff, reigniting what they've had some problems in the past.
Oh yeah,
they've had problems in the past. This kind of reignited that. The latest edition of Being the Elite, which I watched, actually had them sitting at a restaurant eating food, and Cody and Kenny are just staring at each other eating, like, burn. My district stuff, like, you never include me in anything. You know, you guys, why am I even here? You guys don't do anything. And they're like, Kenny, come on, we love you, we include you and everything. And they're like, hey, we even got you the new sweatshirt. What does it say on the back? And it says, it's Bullet Club on the front, and it says cast on the back. Like casts of a TV show would have, like, cast.
Mm-hmm.
And Kenny Omega's like, cast. Yeah, might as well say cast away, because you guys just treat me like I'm gone and I'm nothing. And as he walks away, the back of his shirt says cast away. And they're like, dude, why'd you put Castaway on there? I think it's like Nick Buck is like, the printer screwed up, man. I didn't mean to do it. It was an accident. So it says Castaway as he walks away sulking. So, yeah, so there's a lot of things happening.
Do we see Kenny Omega leaving the Bullet Club and leaving the Elite? Or do we see Cody being expelled?
To be fair, folks who want Kenny Omega to show up at Royal Rumble, because this happened last year,
yeah,
he has signed a new contract with Ring of Honor, or with New Japan. He's not going to be at the Rumble. He's sticking with New Japan. Jericho attacked Tetsuya Naito.
Yep, thusly ensuring that
Naito
Chris Jericho won't be back in WWE anytime soon. Makes me sad.
No way.
I want him home.
He's loving it.
I want him home. He's doing so good out there, but I want him home so bad.
I know, but he's going to have such amazing matches right now. Let him do it. It's awesome.
Right.
It's fucking great. Was that it I had to say? Thought maybe Okada had something going on. I know Jay White said whenever you watch your back, Okada, because when I want it, I'm coming for your title, even though he's in the Chaos faction. So Tetsuya Naito, and Jericho. We had Omega and Cody. That's all I got right now. I might be forgetting something. But I'm going to try to keep everybody up on things. I'm going to try to watch some more stuff. I'm going to just throw in some random shows here and there. Any of the bigger shows. Ring of Honor doesn't have a pay-per-view until, is it March, I think? But I'll try to catch some of the Ring of Honor shows. So that's kind of my goal going forward, is to just give you guys a quick half-hour segment of at least all the other shit going on that isn't WWE. I know we talk about it in the news, but we've kind of gotten away from covering the shows unless they're really big, so we'll see.
And my New Year's resolution is to bring a little bit more of new format to the show. I know we've been talking about this for a while, at least behind the scenes. I definitely want to get some more insight and perspective on things in the wrestling industry from people within the industry themselves. That's right. I definitely want to get some interviews on the show. One a month would be great. One every week would be phenomenal. I would just like to get us headed in that direction this year.
And don't forget, Butter Pop Culture, coming to a fucking podcast near you.
Some next level shit, man.
Damn right. With that being said, I'm all out of fucking shit.
You're all out of shit, and I gotta piss. Because I hold it for the whole show like a trooper.
I don't. I just let it go. That's why I don't have to drink all that cranberry juice like you have to.
I don't drink any cranberry juice. Unless it's got vodka in it.
Come on. Cranberry juice and vodka is a delicious dish. All right, folks. I love you like a lovesick puppy.
And I love you even more. Beef Sticks Podcast. We out.